What's going on, you guys? So, Welterweight Supremacy 2022. It seemed like we waited all this time, right? They say good things come to those who wait, right? And I think we may have a good thing into 2022. We're gonna get a lot of clarity in this division as to who's truly the best welterweight. Hit that like button for your boy. Give me that HBO special. That's the help a brother out special. We're on the road to 11,000 subscribers. We are almost there. But the welterweight division is looking stacked from top to bottom. You look at the top guys like Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, then you start looking at the younger guys coming up like the Conor Benns and the Razmad Batwebs and the Stanionis and the Rashidi Ellises and, all these guys, man. The division is stacked from top to bottom. And if I miss anybody, please feel free to leave it in the comment section or give your thoughts as to who's going to be the welterweight king. Now, I would like to kind of separate the younger crop of guys from the veteran guys, but the main few guys, right? The Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, Ugas Thurman, and then we got Boots lingering on the outside, right? Because guys like to say Boots Ennis is next, so I got him on the front page because he's likely next, right? But the guys that we see here on the screen, there's been a lot of talk amongst these dudes, a lot of talk about these dudes, and a lot of these dudes are going to be fighting. Now, an ideal scenario would be for Terrence Crawford to face off against Keith Thurman in June or July, whenever he decides to come back. The winners go ahead and meet the winner of the Spence Ugas fight in a mini tournament style. Of course, then you have all kinds of other smaller, Then, of course, you have the other guys, right? The younger guys that's up and coming. Elamante Stanionis, who you see here on the bottom left, will be going up against Radman Batweb, the guy you see here, number 3 from the right, top right, right? Those are the guys that's going to be fighting next. These are the same. These are like up and coming type guys, and they're going to be fighting each other next. A lot of these dudes are going to be fighting each other sooner than later. We got Custio Clayton, who here on the far bottom right is going to be going up against Jerron Boots Ennis. Of course, Kell Brook, veteran in the division. Mikey Garcia, veteran. Rashidi Ellis just got signed to PBC, so that's really big news. So a lot of the fights, there was elusive for him because, let's be honest, I believe that Rashidi hasn't fought since his fight with Alexis Roja. If I'm not mistaken, it was a while ago since Speedy Rashidi fought. And now he's finally with PBC, and now we get to see what he's really all about. Now he get to mix it up with some of these guys. And I think Speedy Rashidi's career officially has started, right? We got David Avarigian, the Russian, who has seemed to have gotten a second win, right? And he seems to be a avoided fighter on that side of the boxing world, right? He seems to be an avoided guy. Guys don't really want to seem to deal with him too much. Really tough guy, knocking dudes out. He beat Josh Kelly. That was very impressive. Josh Kelly was on the rise. Actually, Josh Kelly would have been on this list, but he got beat by David Avarigian, right? So, yeah, David Avarigian is a guy who's going to be getting a shot real soon, and a lot of guys don't want to really deal with him. Then we got Conor Benn, the guy right here from the bottom right, the second to the right on the bottom, Conor Benn, Nigel Benn's son, beast, right? Just doing a really good job. Eddie Hearn seems to be kind of moving him a certain way until they truly feel that he's ready. Because let's be honest, the welterweight division is a very high stakes competitive division, and Eddie Hearn wants to make sure Conor Benn is truly ready before he throws him into the fire with some of these bigger named guys. Conor Benn shows a lot of promise, explosiveness. He got power, that tenacity his dad has. I see big things for Conor Benn in the near future, as long as they move him right. Eddie Hearn seems to be taking little baby steps. A lot of fans are criticizing him because of this Chris Van Heerden fight. They think it's meaningless, but I get it. He's a young fighter. They want to make sure he's truly ready to compete with some of these other dudes. Because let's be honest, the welterweight division is stacked and competitive as any division in the sport. Any of these dudes. Honestly, if you look at these guys, even these guys, let's take away the top dudes, the champions. If you look at these guys and should we add Boots to this? But if you look at these guys, who really will win out of all of these guys if they fought in a tournament? Nobody truly knows. Will it be Virgil Ortiz, the guy in the top left, right? Will it be Virgil Ortiz, right? You just never know. You just don't know, right? That's the good thing about it. You just don't know. Hopefully these fights can happen. See, the problem with Virgil Ortiz though is that he's with Golden Boy, right? These guys, Virgil Ortiz, Conor Ben, and Eddie Alvarez are not with PBC. Everybody else is a PBC guy or can just kind of come over there and do their thing. Kell Brook is with Ben Shalom, but I'm sure he may have some flexibility to move around and do some things if he would like to. Mikey Garcia, as we know, is a free agent. And we heard rumors that him and Danny Garcia was in negotiations. But now we're hearing that Terrence Crawford and Danny Garcia in negotiations. So who knows what's going on? Elamonte Stanionis has a fight with Rajman Batwell. That is a very good fight on the Spence Ugas undercard. These two guys right here. I mean, normally this type of fight right here between this guy and this guy, the third guy right here from the top and this guy right here, that shit typically don't happens in American boxing or on this soil, right? On this side of the world, it typically don't happen. You put two upcoming prospect contender type guys against each other, but they doing it like the UK do it, you know. And whoever wins, man, get to go off to do great things, and whoever loses that fight got to kind of go back to the drawing board. So that's a very important fight for those men. It made the best man win in that fight because that's gonna tell a lot who goes on next. Batwell beat the brakes off of Jamal James from pillar to post. Right? Beat the brakes off him. He seemed like a destroyer, a monster. All these fighters here, these young guys here, minus Kell Brook, Mikey, and Danny, they seem really strong, fast, explosive. Custio Clayton's a little older too, so let's take him out. But the young guys, all these young dudes, fast, strong, and explosive. You know, and look really promising, man. And I can see them in some really, really good matchups. And then we go probably have some other guys that we haven't heard of just yet. It's going to come on the scene. And then we're going to have guys from 140 eventually moving up. So 147 is going to always be the crossroads division of the sport of boxing. This is going to be always stacked. There's always be something to do, right? And the good thing is right now, the reason why I'm so excited is because a lot of the welterweights are on one side of the street for the most part. Except for guys like Conor Ben, Virgil Ortiz, David Alvarez, they kind of elsewhere. So they're going to have to be a little bit flexible in where they fighting at if they want to compete with this welterweight supremacy. Because let's be honest, Al Heyman, PBC, they got the welterweight division on lock. Period. Locked. Nobody else can get him. I mean, is either PBC or bust at this point, right? So, yeah, it's looking really good for these guys. And, there's a lot of good matchups even with these guys here, right? Of course, we still waiting on Spence Ugas to go down. Errol Spence Jr. looked phenomenal in his open workout. Looked sharp, fast, strong. Looked sharper and faster and stronger than ever, in my opinion. I mean, he looked like a beast. I'll be lying to you guys if I almost didn't change my pick. That's right. I almost changed my pick because Errol Spence looked that damn good. Yeah, I could be a critic of Errol the Big Fish True Spence, but I'm a fan though, low-key. I want to talk about the guy if I hated him. You know what I'm saying? It's good to see the dude back, man. He looked strong and razor focused. Dennis Ugas looked just as sharp as ever as well, right? Ugas always looks pretty good. He looks ready to go. They go have a good game plan. It should be an excellent fight. I don't know how many times I can harp on it. I think that's a really good matchup for what it is. It's not quite what fans was expecting at the beginning of this year to hear about, but when you look at it on paper, it's a very, very good matchup. Of course, we got Jerron Boots Ennis, who has a fight coming up with Custio Clayton. Then he's going to be next in line to face the winner of the Spence Ugas fight, right? Whoever wins that fight will be the 3-belt champion. Jerron Ennis will be facing against Custio Clayton. What's it, April 6th, May 16th or something like that? So, yeah, after that fight, he'll be next in line if he beats Custio Clayton. Let's not overlook Clayton, right? We're not going to overlook Clayton. I know a lot of people overlooking Clayton because Jerron Boots Ennis, well, that's Jerron Boots Ennis, but Custio Clayton, he's a hell of a guy and a hell of a fighter, and this is a big moment for him. And they claim that they've been wanted this fight with Boots Ennis, right? They turned this down. They claim that Team Boots turned this fight down a few times already. This is the fight they wanted. So they go get what they're looking for, right? They go finally get what they're looking for against Jerron Boots Ennis. And Custio Clayton's a hell of a fighter, and he's going to have a full camp this time. The split decision, the split draw with Sergey Lipinets was a 2 weeks notice fight for him. And I thought he fought very well. Actually, I thought he clearly won the fight. I thought he fought very well considering he came in off 2 weeks notice and they was just trying to line him up, right? So Boots Ennis they better not take him lightly, man. Let's not overlook Custio Clayton, right? Keith One-Time Thurman. Where you been at, Keith? Where you been at, Keith? It was Keith once upon a time, Keith sometime. Now it's Keith, I hope I'll be back this time. We haven't heard from Keith, but we hoping that Keith Thurman and Terrence Crawford would like to mix it up. I think that's a very important fight in the meantime type of deal, right? While Spencer Ugas handling their business, why not go ahead and fight against Keith Thurman? Now, of course, we hear now that Terrence Crawford is going to be going up against Danny Garcia. This is just a rumor, folks. This is not concrete news as of yet. If you hear about it after this video and it's official, then there you have it. But as of right now, it's just a rumor. $30 million deal for PBC Terrence Crawford. 2 fights. Danny Garcia being the first fight. And I'm assuming Errol Spence Jr. or Yordenis Ugas will be the next fight. So, yeah, this is just a rumor with Terrence Crawford right now. And the big thing for Bud over the years was that he needs to be with PBC. He needs to be with PBC. Well, Kumite Crawford looks like he's going over there to PBC. Terrence Crawford essentially has done everything fans have asked of him. As stubborn as a guy he is, and I can relate, right? He still did everything fans asked. Left Bob Arum, fought Sean Porter. He did everything fans asked. He even signed over there, going across the street. I mean, you hear Errol Spence saying different things now. He's not using the Bob Arum excuse. He's not using the promoter's excuse. He's not using pay-per-views excuse. Errol Spence just said, we'll see. We just got to get past this Ugas fight. So Errol Spence is talking differently from how his fans talk, and his fans will have to change it up too. Because Errol Spence ain't flexing on his A side no more. He said that he kind of regrets doing all that because it's an ego thing. See, the people that come out and talk about that part, that he came out and addressed that, like, there was a lot of ego involved, and he wished that none of the stuff never really got out there, the numbers and the splits and what they was talking about. And that's what I've been saying for the better part of 3 years. It's a bad deal for when these guys' business, their numbers and stuff get out to the public, because then you get these managers and these boxing businessmen that really get all up into it, and it causes a big mess, right? It causes a big mess. But now it's looking like it's closer than ever for this fight to happen. Of course, Errol Spence Jr. must get past Yordenis Ugas, the humble warrior, probably the nicest guy in boxing, Yordenis Ugas. It's a big moment for Ugas. Big moment for Yordenis Ugas. It's hard not to like a guy like Ugas. Guys, the sport of boxing is never easy for guys like Ugas. You know what I'm saying? Who has losses already? Who's Cuban guys? They never really have it easy in the sport. It's hard for those guys to get the bigger name guys to fight them, and things of that nature. And Yordenis Ugas has seemed to be a diamond in the rough, man. He made it. You know what I'm saying? He has the chance to make Cuban boxing history. So this is a very, very this fight is bigger than I think that most Errol Spence critics think. Yes, I know that's a little controversial for me to say, but this fight is really it's pretty important, man. If you look at it from Ugas' standpoint, how many Cuban boxers had this opportunity? Right? A chance to be a 3-belt champion. So Yordenis Ugas could be considered one of the greatest Cuban fighters of all time if he gets this job done. He may end up going down as one of the greatest Cubans anyway, but if he beats Errol Spence Jr., oh my goodness. He's Cuban boxing royalty, right? Because Errol Spence got the juice. Even though we haven't seen the big fish in a while, he got the juice. Errol Spence got the juice. And that's why your boy Bushido was so critical of him, so hard on him, because they're like, look, man, this dude got the juice. He can make this shit happen. But he didn't want it to happen. But maybe everything happens for a reason. Maybe things, I'm a strong believer in that. Things happen for a reason. Maybe us waiting all this time was for this moment here. Because the welterweight division is looking crazier than ever right now. Boxing in 2022 is starting to potentially could be one of the best years we had in a long time. Of course, I would like to get fights like Boo Boo Andrade and Jamal Charlo, and and I'm hearing that Benavidez and Andrade is going to be the next option for those two guys after their next opponents. That's just what I heard. We go wait for it though, right? So 2022 is looking like it's going to be a good year overall in the sport of boxing, but most notably the welterweight division. We're going to find out who's going to be welterweight king. I have a feeling we're going to find out who is the true welterweight king really soon. Terrence Crawford is just waiting. He's waiting for his turn. He's going to be fighting against either Danny, Keith Thurman, or whoever it may be. And then, the Spence Ugas winner will determine who's going to be fighting for undisputed. I mean, that fight is going to be excellent. I can't wait to see it. It makes for a good story. And maybe, like I said, you guys, a lot of us been impatient over the years and pretty upset how things played out. But if you look at how things is now, Um, I'm pretty satisfied with the way things are shaping up and what to look forward to. Right, guys can't duck no more. There's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to hide. There's no more politicking. There's no more posturing. There's no more. You know why? Because guys like Jerron Boots Ennis is here. That's why. Guys like Jerron Boots Ennis, guys like Virgil Ortiz, Batuev, Stanley Onis, Connor Bann, Rashidi Ellis, David Alvarez. These young guys are here. So what you go do? Sit around and run around each other and then potentially have to face one of these guys that are mandatory? Nah, y'all got to get to work. We got to close this chapter. And then we're going to move on to the next one. Because the next one's going to be probably as good as this one. Right? This has been a long time coming. This welterweight thing, right? Of course, Terrence Crawford is the new guy in the division. Dennis Ugas moved up too. A few of these guys moved up. But, Terrence Crawford is always looked at as the little guy that came from the smallest division, lightweight. So, yeah, he's essentially the smallest guy out of all these dudes. I don't think none of these guys. Well, did Danny fight lightweight? Did Danny fight lightweight? I'm not quite sure. Somebody leave in the comments. I can't remember. He may have fought a fight at lightweight or not. But Danny, for the most part, has been a junior welterweight. And he was a really good one. Danny Garcia was really, really good at junior welterweight. He's a better junior welterweight than he was at welterweight. Danny hasn't really had a significant win at welterweight. But Danny is Danny. And Danny's going to always be here. He's going to always be relevant. So, going to see what happens, you guys. Mikey Garcia, we still waiting to see what Mikey's going to do. I think Mikey Garcia, Danny Garcia makes a lot of fucking sense. They both coming off losses. It'll be a Puerto Rican Mexican fight. That always does good. That's always interesting. So, that fight makes a shit ton of sense to me, honestly. Makes more sense than Crawford Garcia. I would me personally rather see Crawford fight Keith Thurman. I think that fight is the fight that needs to happen, even still. Keith Thurman, say what you want about him. He's Keith Thurman. I think that fight needs to happen. So, yeah, man, the welterweight division is looking ridiculous. If I missed anything, feel free to leave in the comment section. I freestyle. You know what I'm saying? And, yeah, really, I'm excited. Honestly, I'm just excited. I'm excited about what's to come. I'm excited about what's likely to happen. I really don't know what's going to happen. We can all have our favorites as to who we think is the best or who we think is going to come out on top. But you really, truly just never know. But, yeah, man, hope everybody have a good day today. Give me that HBO special, man. Hit that like button for your boy. If you stayed through this video, this monologue this long, hit that like button for your boy, man. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. I'm probably one of the most consistent guys out there, right? Bushido is probably one of the most consistent guys out there. I do all my own shit, all this editing and all this shit. All this stuff, bro. All this stuff takes a lot of time to do, but I still do it, and I do it every day consistently. Hit that like button for your boy. Peace out.